Walking along the Deschutes River by the Old Mill District, it's hard to imagine anything else but the area's clean, riparian wildlife, restaurants, and recreational activities. It wasn't always that way. For 79 years, it was a gritty, barren area that was home to an active, working sawmill. It wasn't until 2010 that residents and visitors could walk into the river from a beach at Riverbend Park. There was even a city law prohibiting floating in the river. You couldn't swim in the river. That lasted until the 1980s. Today, inner tubes have replaced cut trees in the river, with about 250,000 people floating every summer, and another 1,400 on average hike the trail from McKay Park through the Old Mill District. The entire 270 acres that was the former mill property was repurposed, turning the area into a shining example of redevelopment prowess. It also served to help rebrand Bend from a timber town to a tourist destination whose transformation between 1990 and today is a remarkable story and sometimes difficult to impart to those who never experienced the small logging mill town it used to be when timber was king. In the development of the original mill property, 11 buildings were preserved, which included reusing bricks from buildings there. Included in the preservation were the highest landmarks in Bend, 3 sawmill smokestacks from the Brooks Scanlon Mill, which rise more than 200 feet over the Old Mill District. The preservation of the buildings, particularly the powerhouse, smokestacks, and hog fuel building, gives a physical, visual lesson about its industrial heritage, a recognition that everywhere you walk in the Old Mill District was within that industrial scope. The work that took place in and around those buildings is the reason Bend exists today. Some say the Old Mill District was the vision of one man, Bill Smith, of William Smith Properties, who died November 18, 2022. Bill was a true partner in the community. Others say it was a collective vision of Smith and his group of investors. They called their partnership the River Bend Limited Partnership. Together, they raised $6 million to purchase the land and fund the design and construction of roads and trails around the mill. They envisioned open space surrounding a dense core that included an amphitheater, shopping dining areas, office buildings, hotels, and parks and trails. About 2/3 of the entire property was sold off to others, but there are still a few parcels targeted for retail development. 3 are in the process of being built now. Construction on 2 buildings could begin this year. The new buildings will incorporate the outdoors by facing the hot ponds and pedestrian footbridge at the north end of the property. A lot of what we have today is Bill's vision. It took a lot of patience. He wanted to build more than just a shopping center. He wanted to build something that was vibrant. He turned blight into beauty. The outcome was a vision that is Bend today, a place where visitors and residents can experience the outdoors, recreate on or near the river, shop and dine. It was not a blighted site, but a good opportunity. It was a vision accomplished.